Hello again and welcome back. I am Drenaughter and this is From Dust for the PlayStation 3. This is my first ever requested video, so you can all thank Ben Ray. I feel really bad when I can't pronounce people's names. Problem solved, I found an app that pronounces words correctly for me, so you can all thank Ben
Ray
for this video. This is an Ubisoft game released for the PC, PS3 and 360. It's a god simulator. Well, eventually it's a god simulator. To begin with, you don't do with that. To begin with, it's more of a Moses simulator. You'll see why. This is currently in the PlayStation 3 digital sale. It's between £2 and £3. I can't remember exactly. It's not very much. You certainly get your money's worth. This is your next screen. You've got some fairly basic options. You know, it tells you your controls. There's some very, very, very limited amounts of different settings and things you can change. Quiet mode. I've never seen a quiet mode in a game before. It's not even that loud a game. I don't know why that's the thing. And yeah, then there's your leaderboards, memory of the tribe, and these are your collectibles. Basically, it's just stuff you find or unlock while you're playing through the story. It just gives you a little bit of lore, that kind of thing, a bit of the story, a bit of background, if you care about that kind of thing. And next you have resume the story, new story, or challenge mode. I'll go to resume story because you can go back to stages you've already done. I don't want to spoil too much of it for you. Not that there's any spoiling of the story. There's not a great deal of story. There is a story. It's narrated nicely. They get little cutscenes between stages. It explains why they're there and moves things along. It serves a purpose. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Nothing more, nothing less. And there's your map. So these are all the different stages that you play throughout the story mode. There's quite a few. It's a fairly long game. I mean, I've played this for 10 hours straight today from start to finish. So, you know, and some of it I flew through and some of it I didn't. I mean, you could probably get through it in quicker than 10 hours. But because it's a physics-based game, you tend to get sidetracked and dick around. Well, I tend to get sidetracked and dick around and see what you can build, which is the whole point in these games, I think. If you just go straight for the main goal every time, where's the creativity, where's the fun? You shouldn't be given a tool like this and then not use it, I think. So I'll nip in at one of the earlier ones. Yeah. Here's one of your cutscenes. There are your little tribesmen wearing fucking stupid masks. I wish they didn't have those things on. I'll take it seriously. And we're off. You play as this wormy thing here that just follows the lay of the land, which is nice. Moves really well. Works really well with the PS3 control pad. And they're your little tribesmen. And your job is to get them to these totem poles. And when they're there, they can build little villages. Well, I'll show you. Yeah, you can move the land. So you can press L2 to L2. Like a Mexican ballerina. El tutu. Shut up, Adam. You can press L2 to absorb the land around you. So you can absorb sand or water. They're the only two. Oh, and lava, but we'll get to that. Oh, I can't move water yet. Oh, because it's one of the early stages. Never mind. Yeah, you unlock abilities as the game goes on. To begin with, you can't do a great deal. Like right now, I can just move earth and put it back again, and that's it. So there you can see, there's our first little village. There's not a great deal I can do at the minute apart from move earth about. So I can, if it's just sand, you can dig into it like that and then drop it back somewhere else. And that's how you help these little people. You don't control these directly. You can order them to go to like the totem poles where they build the little bases, these places. And some other things like collectibles they'll go and find. And there's the place you've got to go to at the end of the game, to end the level, effectively. And that's there. And they make their own way there, which is great. It's also... That's one of the problems a game can have, because they tend not to take the best paths sometimes. You'll spend a long time carving out a nice little path for them to run along. And then they'll go, oh, thank you, but I'm going to go through the lava and just combust. Which... It's a little irritating, but it's a minor irritation. It's not broken. It doesn't do it so much that it becomes a huge issue. It can just be a little bit irksome sometimes. So yeah, there's a few little gripes with this game. Nothing major, in all honesty. I've not had any huge problems with it, control-wise. We also have the power to move water. So if water's in your little tribespeople's way, you can just suck it up like a big sponge and chuck it back in the sea or wherever else you want it. If you want to move quicker, you can just boop and zoom out, and then you get a better view of the map, and you can move around a lot faster. And if you're doing careful work, or you just want to see what's going on, woo! You can also... Where are they? You can also nip down to your people and have a look at them. Hey, yeah. This woman can build villages, gain knowledge, and play music. She can't fathom water. That's one of the other things about this game. It's not just this. The game also throws natural disasters at you. So there's volcanoes and tsunamis, and sometimes, especially when you know you're fucked, it's nice just to watch it from their perspective. In fact, it's terrifying to watch it from their perspective. I'll show you some of that later on. So now, as you can see, I've got two little bases. You may also notice some of these animals wandering around. The more vegetation there is, the more animals or weird things start popping up and roaming around the lands. Again, they don't do anything. It's just visual. It just looks nice. It makes it like having more of an effect on the environment, which you are. And now we've done that, and we've fulfilled the criteria for this level. So we can build another little bridge to there. And if you can get 5 people to there, once you've got both the totems, or however many totems there is on a level, sometimes there's 4, you get them all, and then as long as you're in control of all of them, you can activate these, and that just takes you to the next stage. You don't have to go through. It's not forced. You can keep playing for as long as you want. Just keep dicking around with the physics, which I did a lot of. But that is how you progress. And then you just need to protect. So that's the game in its basic form. I'll show you something a little bit more interesting now. Another small gripe. Unskippable fucking cutscenes. There we go. So this is one of the later levels. It's a lot more complicated. And there's a lot more stuff you can do. So we've got lava on this side and water on this side. Oh shit. I'm going to have to move quickly. Go to that one? Go to that one. What you can do with lava, if you ball it up, you can use it to block things off. It makes stone, and stone doesn't wash away like sand does. It obviously sets quicker in water as well. So you can use it to build huge walls and redirect things like I'm doing now. Because I want all the water to run down that side so I can get to this thing. Now, see, that's lovely. That's nice what they've done there. But that will overflow and melt them. So you need to have at least one village to survive. If you lose the village and too many of your people, because you can't reproduce people if you don't have villages, it's game over. So what that little countdown is there in the top middle is different events will keep happening throughout the game. Like that's a little tsunami warning. It's not. It means this water's going to surge, which, if you're not careful, will wash away your village. And on this side, it'll warn you when the volcanoes are going to explode, which, if you're not careful, will... right on cue. Will burn your village to the ground. We'll come back to that. That's had it. That's done. So I need these to survive now. These are my my main men. See that little flag he's carrying? That means it repels fire. So there's these little relics that you find laying about. And if you pick them up and get them back to your base, that one repels magma. So if lava comes rolling down the hill, it'll go either side of them. And there's a water one as well, which... oh, shit. Which I could have done with. Keep your bases connected if you can, because they share stuff between them. So if you get a little magma one on that one, and then you open a base up over here, it'll send a little man across with a kite. There you go. And if he makes it to it in time, that base will also then become magma-proof. So it's not essential, but it's very, very handy to keep all your bases connected if possible. Different totems give you different abilities. So if you see on the top left there, I've unlocked the ability to jellify water and amplify breath. Amplify breath means I can temporarily pick up twice as much stuff. So if you want to build something quick, I'll show you. And amplify, I can pick up loads now. Ooh, I've not shown you jellify water yet either. Wait, to jellify, now what this will do is set all the water solid. So you can build little jelly-like towers of water like that for a limited amount of time, for a minute exactly. So you soak up as much as you possibly can, and then when the timer even runs out, all that water should cascade down that hill, and hopefully it'll overwhelm the lava and unjellify. And it didn't work, but it looked amazing, and that's what counts. I also now have the power of infinite earth. That is the best one to get, in my opinion, because you can just put earth down for as long as the timer's counting, which... how long is that? Yeah, it's like 15 seconds. But for the whole 15 seconds, you can just raise that up as high as I possibly can. Then when I need to get to it, Yet sand spreads out. Sand behaves like sand. And water behaves like water. The physics in this game are done really well, and that's what makes it fun. I mean, the challenge isn't even in completing these levels. The levels themselves are quite easy. The challenge is in, well, trying to make it so it works without you being involved. Because the landscape, because the volcanoes adding the lava reacts with the water, it's constantly shifting, it's constantly changing. So to make somewhere that's permanently safe for your little peoples is hard, and on some levels it's virtually impossible. You just can't do it. But I like to think you can. Like, there is a way of doing it. It's fun in the same way that sort of SimCity was fun, but a much more organic. You know, it doesn't matter how hard you try it, you can't make anything look man-made in this game. And now we have Engel Fall. Engel Fall is just a giant sponge. So if you start soaking up water, it will keep soaking up water for the entire minute. It'll just, that little countdown will just keep going down. It'll just keep soaking up water and destroy it. You can't use it. You can't suck it up and drop it back out. This is just to get rid of stuff that's in your way. So you can use it to get rid of land, water. It also stacks. I forgot to mention that. If I do this, for example, with Amplify Breath, it'll now suck up twice as much, which is really interesting. You can turn them off at any time by pressing the same button you used to cast them in the first place. Other things stack with things as well, and one of my favourite ones, and it almost breaks the game in my opinion, because you can just build huge land masses with it straight away to save yourself having to do the trouble of, well, playing the game. Use Infinite Earth and Amplify Breath, so whoop, so you can just put down a ton of land. So if I want to make a bridge all the way to the end there, I can. It's a little bit cheap, but it works really well, because now, yeah, there you go, now they can just run all the way across, which they're about to. You do have to be a bit careful with sand, because that water will eventually wash it away. Same as if you put brick walls, which won't be affected by water down. Lava will eventually either run down the side of them and melt them a little bit, or it'll build up to it and set, and then spill over and set and spill over and set, so it's constantly creating land, like a volcano would. It's all really well balanced. And we're done again. Unskippable. Grumble. What I'll do now is, because I'm rushing through it a little bit for a video, you're not actually getting to see the effect your little war with nature is having on the environment or having on the landscape. So I'll start a match so you can see what it's like. I'll cut away, I'll play it for about an hour, and then I'll flick back to it and you can see like the what's gone down. Okay, so this is where the map starts. We've got quite an alien looking world. We've got lava spewing out everywhere, lots of rock, lots of sand. A volcano erupting over here, and a water spring up here with water just pissing down the right hand side there. So by the magic of editing, I will back up over here and say goodbye, and welcome back to what is, believe it or not, the exact same map. Yep, it's all completely green now. It's all covered in jungle. I've got weird animals roaming around. I don't know what those plants are. I've never seen them before. It's changed a lot, hasn't it? You can see here where I had the repel magma on, so it's just built up around it, where it's built up and set, and built up and set, and built up and set. So it's caused the land to change in a rather strange way. You remember the little spring that was over here on the right hand side? I blocked all that off. I walled it off all the way around, all the way across the front of the volcano. The volcano's now gone out entirely, as a little pool of lava. And I built a huge wall all the way across here and turned it into a reservoir, so that I'd have free reign to run around. My little mate could all run around over this bottom bit and collect all the totem poles without any trouble. It took a little bit longer than an hour, because I was dicking around for a while. I toyed with the idea of blowing that wall up. Oh, I forgot to mention, these plants will explode if you expose them to fire. There is no fire left here at the minute, so I can't show you. But yeah, they go boom and make little holes in things. So it's just a huge oasis up here. So as you can see, I did this all quite deliberately. But again, none of it looks man-made. It all looks completely like natural formations. It really is a proper little god simulator. It really reminds me of Populous, and I love Populous. But I'll be honest, I think I love this just a little bit more. There's a nice little lost world in the volcano there. It's been a long time since I've picked up a little game like this and just thought, oh, I'll have a look at it, couple of quid, you know. It's got my interest, because I used to like games like this. I haven't played any in a long time. And I literally didn't put it down for a day. I sat there for just 10 hours straight and just played through it. It barely moved. I couldn't walk afterwards. I've been sat down for that long. It's been a long time since something's gripped me in that way, because it's very good distracting you from what you're meant to be doing. Because you think, oh, I could build this over there. What if I've channeled these through here? Well, if I could build like I did here, just built a giant reservoir for shits and giggles. It worked in my favour, but I didn't know it was going to work in my favour to begin with. The only thing you can't do, which is a little bit upsetting, is you can't delete stuff. Like, for example, I've pretty much finished this now, and I would quite like to just let the water out of that reservoir cascade down this hill. I'd murder everyone, but I can't. But that is an exceptionally minor thing. I get why it's not in there, because it's all about what, you make a permanent wall. It's permanent. Work around it. It's nature. You may notice on the left there, I've got a little put out fire power now, which is puts out the fire everywhere on screen all at once, which is fantastically helpful later on, especially when you've got lots of growth around like this. Because one large forest fire can just sweep across the map and take out everyone. You can just lose in one fell swoop. So it's handy. It's brilliant how you get more and more powerful as the game goes on. Like, say, when you start off, it feels like a little bit of a Moses simulator. But at the end of it, you've got proper god powers. I mean, by the end of the game, my God, you've got proper god powers. The last mission is just, I'm not going to spoil it, and I don't want to show you it, but by the time you get to the last mission, it's it's brilliant. It caught me off guard, like what they let you do, but you'll see when you buy this, because you will, especially considering how cheap it is at the minute. Also, not a bad looking game. I wasn't expecting much from the old graphics department, considering, but water looks nice. That looks like an oasis. The rock when you're building things from the volcanoes, it looks obsidian. It looks spiky and jagged until it gets smoothed over by the earth. Everything just someone put a lot of time into this. This got a lot of love. Right, you'll notice I've got 100% vegetation coverage on this map, obviously. And like I said, you unlock things for getting 100% vegetation coverage. You unlock something for getting 50%, 75%, and 100%. And you unlock challenges. Challenges is the other game mode, which I'll show you now. Oh, just before I go to challenges, there was something else worth mentioning. When you go through the story doing all of these, you can go back to any one of these once you've finished, and it'll be exactly as it was when you left it. It won't just start you from scratch. You can restart the mission from the start once you're in there and do it all again as if it was new, but it remembers how you left the landscape exactly on every one of those. So if you've still got to get like a collectible, or you want to get 100% greenery on all of them, then you can just go back to the ones you've already done from the point where you finished it, or had progressed enough to be able to move on to the next stage, which is just a lovely little feature. I wasn't expecting it, so pats on backs for whoever thought of that. It's brilliant. So last but not least, challenge mode. There are 5 pages of these. I've only unlocked 4 of them so far, and I've not done some of these earlier ones, so I'll go straight for... Ooh, the big wave sounds good. So these are, as you can imagine, like mini missions. You'll get a limited amount of abilities and a very specific task to achieve, and you have to do it within a set time. And it's just, can you do it, and can you get a decent time? That's all there is to it. But they are very varied. Again, someone put a lot of thought into this. It's not... They're not dull. I thought this would be throwaway. I thought after doing the main game, I'd have a look at this for 2 seconds and go, it's there, and give up on it. But you don't. You get drawn in. It's that, one more. One more. Next time I'll get the sort of. But it drags you in like that. It's very, very Moorish is the word. It's a miniature pretzel of a game mode. So this is an early one. This is fairly easy. It's send your tribe that's there to go and get the thing from over here. Clear out the water from this side so they can take the little flags over there. Clear out the spiky trees from this side, which I will do now. Although I've got a feeling I didn't do it quick enough. Go, little man. Oh shit, little man, run. Run, shit. Push that totem pole, push it real good. He's done it, well done. And they're protected from huge tsunami. Yep, we're all good. Outstanding. Right, I'm laying down a gauntlet now, because I've done a few of the challenges, the earlier challenges. I skipped to one of the later ones, and this is just kicking my ass over and over again. I managed to do it a couple of times. I managed to beat my time the second time, and I scored there. I scored 3 minutes, 42 seconds, 42 fractions of a second. Beat that. I challenge anyone to beat that. I want photographic proof, but beat that. And on that challenging note, I'm going to leave it there. If you like these kind of games, this is a good one. If you like God simulators, or you remember Populous from back in the day, if you're a fan of those, you will like this. Usually I'd say that these are better on PC because, keyboard and mouse just work better. But this worked beautifully with the control pad. Like, I had absolutely no issues. It was, I get the feeling it was designed to work with a control pad. I've got a couple of problems with it, like I said, but the problems I have had with it are minor by comparison to all the good stuff this game does, and especially for the price. It's if you can pick this up now whilst it's in the sale, I couldn't recommend it more. This amount of game for that amount of money is beyond fair. Like, it's almost robbery. I almost feel bad. I feel like I should pay them more. So if you like what you see, then pick this up, preferably soon whilst it's on sale, and I'll see you next time.